Soma, there's another question for you. Has there been any change in diversity hiring trend during pandemic compared to pre-COVID?
Yes and no. I think we have seen a good number of women wanting to come back into the workforce because they can work from home and they have the flexibility and they don't have to travel to work. Equally, but because of the domestic pressures, we have seen more number of women exiting the workforce also because they could not cope with the dual responsibility. Typically, when the woman was coming to office, at least some part of the domestic work either got done by someone else or something like that. But when she's in the house, then the children, the older parents, in-laws, whatever the social environment is, the pressure on the women has been experiencing is much more than what men experience. So I would not comment that our ratios, especially of the gender diversity, has moved significantly because these were the two opposing forces that were in play. But I'm hoping that in the long run, when things stabilize and there is social support and the family support, then women will come back, because I think remote working, virtual working really offers a good opportunity for people who cannot step out of the house for whatever reasons, be they women or other people who have responsibilities.
Now that's a very nice observation. How I would look at it positively, that despite the fact that women had to undertake so much of household work in the absence of servants and all of that, and children being at home, the diversity ratio has not fallen. And if it has not fallen, then there's a significant effort done by BPM industry to open more and more women to come back to work. Kalpak has a point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting situation. And in fact, if you could see in last 6 months, you would have heard of changes in the labor code. And one of the significant change that is coming up is government relaxing the working norms. And with people going home and work from home, there is a huge potential to tap this passive workforce, which consists of housewives, which consists of females who were otherwise skeptical going out for various reasons to offices, or perhaps traveling to other locations. There are part-time models that will emerge. There were short-term models that will emerge, and I think we have a huge opportunity to tap this excellent talent to get into the main frame of the work that we do. And I think this could be a great opportunity for the BPM industry as a whole to do some significant work in improving their gender diversity by leveraging this workforce that is passive today.
And Prashant, just to add to what Kalpak and Soma said, in fact, our diversity ratios have got better during pandemic because suddenly the females who are going on maternity leave and who wanted to return, it has become so easy for them, because otherwise, until a child would grow to some 2 or 3 years, or until the child starts going to nursery or school, the female would not return to workplace. But now, with work at home option being available, there is a far greater opportunity for the person to return to work and feel comfortable, because the person doesn't have to commute. I mean, the person has to be in the comfort of the home. All the person needs is a broadband at home and a machine. That's it. So for us, it has worked better in terms of diversity, as we also continue to employ persons with disabilities. For them also, it has worked very, very well for us.
That's very nice insights, and I think that's very promising for women who want to make or continue a career in BPM industry. Slight corollary to this question. Now we have Vijay Karkare, who's a stalwart in search and leadership development, and has been doing a great job for last 3 decades. Thank you, Vijay, for being on our attending our panel discussion. His question, and a similar question is from Madhav Malhotra, that will BPO industry see a disruption? Would you think that now with work from home, the requirement of investment in real estate, etc., will go down, and hence new BPOs can come up and scale up very quickly to something like a 5,000 people BPO with all of 5,000 or most of 5,000 working from home. And as Kalpak pointed out, he's looking at some mini centers in small towns, etc. Picking up on those cues, is BPM industry up for disruption by new players?
So Prashant, if you allow, I will take this.
Yeah.
So Prashant, if you look at the BPO industry, I mean, a lot of us thought during the pandemic that, oh my God, I think we are going to move to some 100% or 90% work at home model. But what we are now seeing and experiencing in reality, as situations are normalizing, or we are seeing a reduced impact of COVID in several countries, the clients are again insisting back that we should have a hybrid model, So therefore, I don't see a major disruption happening. I mean, I don't see 100% of the workforce going at home, basically. But will some ratio of the workforce will go at home? I think answer is yes. So a reasonable ratio that I would think would be 25% working at home and 75% still working at the workplace, going by what clients are telling us, basically. So therefore, it is more than a revolution. I think it is a process of evolution. This is going to, while COVID did create a revolution and a disruption, but at the same time, post-COVID, it's more going to be an evolution. So it's going to be a slower affair than a sudden disruption and then a sudden change in the work behaviors.
Yeah, and I would just like to add a couple of other points which, to my mind, do not point to a disruption wherein we will have too many new players coming in and disrupting the landscape. And that is the fact that while you're not having real estate, you have other type of investment that you continue to need, how to monitor the information security, because BPM clients are paranoid about safety and security and data and all of that, right? So the amount of money we are spending to make sure that that is safe and secure and firewalled, etc., is considerable. The other thing is brand and trust that the client will have in a new setup, right? Some of us have been around 20 years or even more than that, and for the client to trust someone in a situation like this, I don't know how much a new company will be able to attract that kind of clientele and win the trust to get big deals. So I would say again, as the COVID itself will not prompt a disruption, is my sense.
No, that's I think great news for people who are employed in the organized sector BPM industry, and perhaps not so great news for those entrepreneurs who might be thinking of setting up new BPM companies. Kalpak, what would be your take?
Investment in creating new BPO units is a completely different area. And that talks about the economic scalability, affordability, and profitability. Today, starting a new BPO, would it be economically viable, profitable for somebody to do a new startup? Rather, they would go and invest in a RPI or AI-based startup, they would make more money. With the amount of effort that is going to go into building a BPO structure and then do the same delivery that probably hundreds of other BPOs are already doing, is going to be a tough competition. On the side of disruption, I do believe that the business process is already disrupted greatly in last 1 year. and infused highly by the pandemic. And I say so why? With the pandemic, it's sure that our clients have also suffered. Their business is also impacted. To continue to have their business run effectively, they fell back on their providers and their partners to drive better value. How can you deliver better with probably the same cost for me right now, because I'm also struggling. So can you help me? So there was this ecosystem that got developed, which led to most of the BPOs fine-tune their business service model. So digital came in place, a lot of technology infusion has come in place. So the question that will come up is, the way we were offering or providing customer support to the client's customer 2 years ago, will that remain as is? Partially yes, but partially it's going to change. Speech analytics is coming heavily into the BPOs. Those who are very close to BPO market, they would know that there is something called, there are call monitoring specialists whom we call quality experts who listen to the sample calls, decipher the information and share feedback with the agents about call quality and where did they go wrong. Now there is this new technology called speech analytics, which is doing that job for you. And not on sample, it's doing on 100% of the calls that are taken. So that has completely disrupted the way the whole QA framework used to work in the industry. So that role is completely moved or marginalized by the better, effective, and holistic support from a speech analytics. And there are a lot of things like that which are coming in. So there is already a disruption. The question is, can we ride on this disruption? Is an opportunity.